The landscape of North Carolina has changed.
The land that we know as North Carolina actually formed about 1.7 billion years ago. Now, this land drastically changed, and the record that we have of our current state starts at about 500 million years ago. Mountain building episodes, plates colliding. We had violent volcanic eruptions, lots of earthquakes.
Democrats have always adapted to change.
The last collision occurred about 300 million years ago, which is where what currently would be North Africa collided with our East Coast. The Appalachians took 250 million years to form. Our mountains would have rivaled the Himalayas. The state of North Carolina has always been in a state of flux. So even though North Carolina appears to be a stabilized state, nowadays it is still in this constant dynamic state.
You know, there is a natural ebb and flow to politics. Democrats in North Carolina have been in power for decades, for 100 years, and eventually there's shifts, and eventually there are changes, and we're at a point right now where we're having to react to new changes and to adapt to what happened in 2010 and 2012.
Do I think the rules have changed? Yes, the rules have changed. Do I think that that has anything to do with our ability to win? Not at all.
These are the districts. How are we going to win in the districts we've been given?
The only way to fix that is to go beat them at their game.
We can't approach these situations the way we have for the past 10, 20 years.
We're going to have to rebuild it from scratch.
And if we aren't nimble enough, if we aren't adapt enough, and if we aren't creative enough to take on those setbacks, then we're doing something wrong.
What's wrong with taking challenges? What's wrong with being bold? I mean, that's what our predecessors did. That's what everybody talks about, our founding fathers and the greats of this state in terms of leadership.
The great genius of people like Terry Sanford and Jim Hunt, they looked at where North Carolina was in their time. The task that falls to Democrats now is to identify that issue for our time.
We need to come up with something new, come up with a different way of attacking them. And it's easy right now because anybody who's paying attention to what they're doing over there is going to get angry at what they're doing.
The Republicans are extremely unpopular, even with Republican voters. And so people are ready for something different.
We can't just go about it the same way. We talk a lot about voter ID. Voter ID is abhorrent. They're going to pass it.
Those are the kinds of obstacles we're going to face in every election from now on.
I don't think we need to change who we are. I think we need to just be smarter.
We have to raise money and we have to drop more mail pieces, period.
This is how we prepare voters for the message that we're going to carry in 2014.
We've had a lot of change elections recently, and 2014 could be another change election.
I've been really, really fortunate over the last 18 months or 2 years to travel all over North Carolina. And if I could show people what I see, when you go into these communities, you would be inspired and know that it's just a matter of time before all of this changes. We have some amazing young leaders coming up all across North Carolina, not just in Raleigh, not just in Charlotte, but in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We have amazing leaders that are just sitting there waiting for somebody to say, it's your turn.
The biggest common denominator is that they think North Carolina can be better.
I tend to look for people who are already embedded in the community, who serve in organizations, boards, work closely with nonprofits, are already serving the democratic purpose, already making big differences in the community.
People who are involved, invested in their town, in their county, people who are on committees and boards and churches, people who are interested in entering public life for the right reason.
We need people that want to run because they want to change education, not because they want to get elected. They want to run because they want to change our judicial system, not because they want to get elected.
You're looking for the people who you need to draft, who you need to make a movement behind, a groundswell, so that the people who want to run have the resources they need, but the people who need to run have the party behind them.
Problem solvers, the people who are not necessarily partisan warriors, but who can show that they have a track record of success making policy for all of us, not Democrats, not Republicans, but all of us.
People that have the ability to work together, that are fighting for solutions for North Carolina, as opposed to this partisan gridlock that we're facing constantly.
Folks with new energy, folks with new drive, who are out doing the work, and I think those are the people who are going to take our party forward over the next 10 years.
If I see anyone out there and see those qualities of leadership in them and they're already putting in the work, I say to them, have you ever thought about stepping up to run? And sometimes that's all that it takes.
They're making a difference now in whatever field they're in, but we need them in office. And we need to start identifying and recruiting now.
The work that we have ahead really is to work to build a bench within the Democratic Party of local leaders, of community leaders, folks in nonprofits, folks in the business community.
We need folks who are used to raising money, who are used to working with the media, who are used to working with other elected officials, and who are ready to move our state forward as Democrats in the future.
They're eager to get to work. And I think if the Democratic Party gives them the tools that they need, they will win their local elections.
You have to play the long game on this too, and you have to realize that when you make an investment in someone at the municipal level, you're also making an investment in the future of your party 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now.
If we have good mayors who are successful in their towns, who get angry at what the legislature is doing to disempower municipalities, then we've got our next round of legislative candidates.
We have a General Assembly who doesn't have that background, and it's meant that they've been attacking local municipalities left and right, and it's also meant that I don't think they're really representative and knowledgeable about what the people in their community really want.
Somewhere out there, there is somebody, a city councilman, a county commissioner, a sheriff, who will be governor someday.
And that's what has inspired me. When I leave outside of this little Raleigh bubble and I go out in our state, the people that live there are on our side. And there's wonderful leadership out there. And that's probably what gives me the hope and what tells me that it deserves the fight.